Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Google Hangout today. My name's Colby Villa with the social media team here at GoDaddy. You might recognize me from some of our other Hangout streams. Today we're going to be talking about holiday email marketing tips, and we got some great guests on the show here today to take you guys through that and through our product to help you make everything more successful this holiday season. So with that, let me start off some introductions. I'll start with you, Dean. Dean, we got Dean Levitt. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Dean.
Hello, everyone. So, of online support at GoDaddy email marketing, and as odd as it may sound, there's two things I obsess over, and one of them is email marketing. The other one is surfing. So, if you have any questions about good beach breaks or email marketing, feel free to reach out absolutely anytime.
That's awesome. And then we also have with us Rebecca Brennan. Or sorry, not Rebecca. Becca Brennan. Sorry.
It does work.
Okay.
Hi guys.
Tell us something about yourself. We know Dean loves surfing. What's a passion of yours?
I'd say pinball is my thing, definitely.
Pinball. I love it.
And pinball is everywhere, and I'm pretty good at it, not going to lie. I'm also customer support for GoDaddy email marketing, and I run some social media as well. So we're going to talk about both those things, and it's going to be fun.
That's awesome. I think pinball's the first time I've ever heard that used as like a passion item, just so you know. I think that's awesome.
Absolutely passion, yeah.
All right, well let's kick it off. So first start we've got here is what's the opportunity?
Great. So this year, I think what the stats really show us is that email marketing is one of the best ways to get your sales super high and to get your customers and subscribers really interested in what you're doing. As we can see here, 2014 saw record sales over Thanksgiving weekend, $1.33 billion and $2.4 billion on Thanksgiving Day and on Black Friday. So that's really huge. Those are huge numbers, and it'd be a little bit silly to ignore email marketing in this context. You can see that Thanksgiving Day sales and Black Friday sales also come from mobile, and email marketing is a great way. You can send an email, it lands people's mail app. Everyone checks mail on their phone, and then right away you've made an impression, and people are going to start clicking through. You can go to the next slide. Thank you. So again, for many shoppers, emails can be the compass guiding them towards worthy deals, both for gift buying and for themselves. And this notion was especially noticeable during Thanksgiving weekend, which is the 5 days from Thanksgiving to Cyber Monday and Black Friday. Email is the primary marketing channel driving e-commerce orders. So it's super huge over those several big holidays, Black Friday and Cyber Monday especially. And when it really matters, consumers turn to their inboxes. So I think it really shows that people pay attention this time of year to emails and what's being sent in them. It's a time of year when everyone's already got gift buying on the mind. And even if there is a huge influx of marketing emails, if you do it right, you can make a huge impression.
Great.
So digital interactions will influence 64% of in-store holiday sales in 2015. So this means that even if you don't have a web business, if your business is totally brick and mortar, a real store on the street somewhere, digital interactions will still be a huge part of your marketing plan. And so for this reason, you'll want to make sure you have a great email marketing newsletter set up and keep in touch even with those people who come and visit you physically in the store. Those are some of your most valuable customers, so you want to make sure you're really keeping them on board and keeping them happy throughout this time.
Awesome. So next section we got is plan ahead here. So how do people plan ahead for the holiday season?
This is definitely super important. You don't want to wait until the last minute, because I think it'll really show if you just, on Black Friday, go to your computer, throw something together, and send it out. You want to make sure people are really getting what they want out of you. And to do that, you want to plan ahead. And I think the best way to do it is to actually make a marketing calendar. Sit down with your calendar out and have your key dates highlighted, and give yourself time to plan something out that really makes sense for who you're sending to and what you want to talk about. So you want to write down your intentions, the kind of thing you want to do. You want to do good business, you want to spread good cheer, you want to share some holiday wishes, and what kind of outcomes you want. So you can want to get good click-through rates, people come to your website, or RSVPs, maybe if you're throwing a special holiday party, something like that. It's a good idea to make sure you have these things set ahead so you can spend some time really curating good content to make this really shine. And then, of course,
I'll say that planning ahead is just really important, right? So it's just like Christmas shopping. Like you don't want to show up on the Christmas Eve to try and get all your presents. It's probably not going to work out very well.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to consider what your users are really doing, what your customers and subscribers are doing, because most of them aren't going to go out on Black Friday and try and find a gift that day. They're going to think ahead. What does mom want? Where should I look for that? Where's the best deal for that specific thing? So if you let people know ahead of time, then they're going to be coming back to you instead of just anybody who throws an email at them last minute. And blog content is also a really good thing to start doing ahead of time as well. If you have a blog that you use with your website or a blog for your business, it's a really handy idea to start putting together content that revolves around holiday emails and your holiday sales, so that they know that there's some good stuff coming along the way soon.
Awesome.
This is just a really cool stat that Cyber Monday had huge sales in 2014. This is one email service provider sending volume and open rates were just giant. And then you can see in the next slide that after that, opens and clicks decline until Christmas starts coming around again. So Thanksgiving weekend is really where you want to make sure a lot of your marketing is happening, and it's really focused around that time, and then again around Christmas is when it starts to build back up.
Nice. It also looks like there's a pretty big spike there after New Year's, going into the new year.
That makes sense. I think any big holiday really is a good excuse to get some deals out, things that are going out of style or coming into style. So New Year's makes a lot of sense as well. I think especially for certain types of businesses, New Year's can be huge. Gyms, for example, or fitness coaches. New Year's resolutions are a really great way to start a new year and encourage people to, pay attention to you.
That's awesome. You can get people to sign up for the New Year's resolution. It's a little harder thing to keep them doing the resolution.
Absolutely. And here we have a quote from my teammate Susan, who says, "Don't wait to start promoting. If you don't send your Black Friday promotion until Black Friday, odds are people are already out in the stores and they have a plan of attack by the time the email even reaches them." So it's a really important point to keep in mind that starting things ahead of time, planning ahead of time, and emailing ahead of time will give your customers the information they're looking for and really help them plan their holidays as well.
Fantastic. So prepare your list and check it twice.
All right, this is my favorite part. Healthy lists do lead to better results. So I know this time of year can be really tempting to purchase a list or start sending mail to old or inactive contacts. But the best thing to do really is to keep your list as up to date as possible. So you want to keep contacts or subscribers who have been responsive to your mail recently, or have signed up recently, or been customers recently. So people who have really indicated that they're interested and they do want to receive what you're sending. Those are the people who are going to be sharing your mail the most. They're going to be opening it more and clicking your links more, and they're going to be more active and responsive. So if somebody hasn't opened your mail in the past 18 months or 2 years even, chances are their email address is either totally invalid now, or they're just not that interested anymore. So it's actually healthier for you to get rid of those people who are totally inactive and focus on the people who are really going to be evangelical about your organization. All right, and now we have a quote from my teammate Joe. This is something else that I think is very important. Getting familiar with the technical aspect of email marketing. So you want to know what spam filters look for and how email marketing is monitored. And to do that, will do great things for your open rates. We'll talk a little bit about this during the demo later. But something that's really important for spam filters is to sort of back away from that all caps, 20% off, buy now kind of subject line, because everybody's sending it, and a lot of people who are sending spam use that same kind of language. So instead, you're going to want to use some language that your customers are used to from a real person. So the more descriptive your text is, and the heavier, the better balance you have between images and text, will really help your mail get past spam filters and land where it's supposed to.
And I'm going to actually jump in. Oh, I think we've got a bit of an echo. I'm going to jump in and Becca is on the GoDaddy email marketing delivery and compliance team as well, so she really knows what she's talking about in that aspect.
Oops, I think we're still muted here. Hang on.
I think actually I am on delivery, so thank you, Dean. So if anybody has any questions, you can always feel free to email me at gem@godaddy.com, and I'll be happy to show you guys some more tips and tricks about delivery and making sure you're avoiding spam filters. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Dean, for our focus on our audience.
Great. Focusing on audience is one of my favorite things to chat about. And we're going to dive right into segmenting your list. And I want to just start with a small caveat here about segmentation. If you listen to analysts talk about segmentation, it can feel very daunting, very heavy, very granular. And I want to say, don't go into the weeds with segmentation. We're going to discuss some light segmentation here. And as you can see written down on the card, we're talking about customers who bought certain items versus customers who may just only be subscribers and haven't bought. What you have at hand is the way to segment. So, for example, if you do know which customers have bought gift cards during the holidays previously, you can target a campaign about gift cards just to them versus a general list. It's a great opportunity to get more gift cards moving. However, what you don't need to dive into is demographics and location and gender and all that stuff. That gets really complicated, and unless you have a vast list, I'm going to say it's not really worth your time. But segmenting based on things you do know and do have on hand and match your own business goals is a great way to make sure that you really just get that little bit extra advantage in your email campaigns. Now, creating compelling content is much easier than you might think. You don't have to be a writer. You don't have to be a blogger. What you can do for the holidays is think about what is really going to be valuable for readers during the holidays. And one of the hardest things to do in the holidays is shopping. Everyone knows figuring out what to buy one's significant other or your third cousin twice removed that you see once a year. All of that stuff is wicked hard to figure out. So shopping guides, gift guides are really lovely opportunities to make someone else's life easier and actually make a sale at the same time. Another really lovely aspect of content that goes beyond just saying, hey, we have a new item, let's say a red shirt. Hey, we have a new red shirt. A really lovely aspect of email is you get to share a little bit more information about that red shirt. You can describe why this red shirt is special, what thread they use, why you selected this red shirt to sell in your store, what makes it special. And you really get to actually interact with your readers and engage with them because you're not just throwing merchandise at them. What you are doing is helping them be aficionados about the products that they might buy and they might gift as well. It helps engender some pride in the potential sale as well. It's a great way to create compelling content.
Yeah, I like the compelling content part a lot. I think that also ties back to what you were saying, Becca, with don't be spammy in your emails, right? If you have compelling content that's unique, it's not going to look like spam necessarily. I think that's great.
So Becca, actually, we go straight into the quotes from Becca. Becca has an example that I'm going to read out while Becca waves from the personal anecdotes and photos of real people feel more compelling than just, hey, buy this. They also stand out because they are relatable. Now, another really great thing you can do with email marketing for the holidays is boost your in-store sales. We've touched on that earlier in the webinar, but it's simply because there are events around the holiday time. You've got Black Friday, you've got Small Business Saturday, you've got Cyber Monday, you've got Christmas coming up, you have Thanksgiving, you have all these core days of holiday sales. What you can do is offer exclusive deals, offer something additional for these events that help drive a few more people to your store. Now, I do want to just reiterate something that we've discussed. Plan ahead, and it's not just plan ahead to send an email on the day of. Plan ahead and help your readers plan ahead. So let people know 2, 3, 4 weeks in advance of this special deal that there will be a special in-store deal so they can plan their day accordingly to shop. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people panic at 6 in the morning on one of these special days like Small Business Saturday or Black Friday that they haven't thought about getting that email out, and they really hope that they get enough people to see that email at 7 a.m. to be at the store by the beginning of the deal at 8 a.m. That's too late. Start planning in advance. Another little caveat I would like to add to that is be careful about the deals that you offer. What you don't want to do is devalue your work, devalue your service, or devalue your product. So make sure it's something reasonable. By letting them plan ahead, by taking into account the real beauty of the products you're selling or the value in the products you're selling, you're going to be okay. So moving on here, Becca again has made a point about sharing photos of customers in the store. So it's a really cute thing to do, is to share photos of people in the location, in the store, of your employees, clients, founders. It's a great way to personalize and remind folks that visiting the physical location can be fun and friendly. It really humanizes the store. And again, it goes a long way to taking the vibe away from buy, sell, 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 and builds a real connection.
Yeah, that's great. I know even in social we talk about it all the time, right? People relate to other people more so than they do brands. So adding that personal aspect is huge.
Absolutely. And one other little note there, I once went into a store and it turned out I was their first ever customer. They opened that day and they took a picture of me, they Instagrammed it, and I shared it on Instagram. And you know what? I was a loyal customer. There was a whole bunch of other friends of mine locally who saw the picture, saw what I'd ordered. It was a really cool sandwich, and it really went a long way to building up their initial first customers as well. By taking that step to engage with in-store customers connected to their digital marketing was really neat, and it takes no effort.
That's awesome.
So also talking about in-store, our Susan discusses collecting signups on a sheet at the checkout counter. It's super effective. Susan says she signed up for many lists that way at her favorite stores, and then the store can let the customers know about special holiday deals and merchandise. So the people who are in-store customers, you can then bridge the gap between in-store and digital. Plus, there's a little bit of an added bonus of pressure. People don't like to say no in person, so it's a great opportunity to grow your newsletter list. Now, let's think beyond sales. Beyond just sharing the product, it's a really useful technique and a very compelling technique to show a little bit of personality in your emails. It allows readers to remember that there's a team of people behind the business, and we use that at GoDaddy. Everyone at GoDaddy really communicates in their own voice, and it's compelling, it's great, it's lovely, and it's fun for everyone. It's going to be more fun for you as the sender of the email to also communicate like you normally communicate. Another neat idea is to partner with a nonprofit and using the email to announce the partnership and the donation. More importantly, or not necessarily more important, equally importantly, is to get the nonprofit to also announce that and make sure that you're using the two fan bases, if you will, to introduce each other. Useful technique, but most importantly, respect your subscribers' inbox. Don't spam them. Be thankful and express that gratitude that they are your customers, that they read your emails, and that they are willing to connect with you. And Rylan emphasizes that. Rylan, by the way, if anyone needs a really beautiful design, you reach out to Rylan on the team. He's a phenomenal designer, and he'll be delighted to help you out. Rylan suggests not being too salesy. People are bombarded with Black Friday and holiday advertisements everywhere they go at this time, and sending something less overtly commercial can really help you stand out from the crowd. And now to discuss short, savvy emails. This is also something I'm a little bit excessively passionate about. So, to send the best newsletter you possibly can, I believe you should keep it super short with one primary call to action. That means before you write that newsletter, sit down and say to yourself, hey, what is the one thing that I really need the readers to do? Is it buy that red shirt? Is it come to the store on Black Friday? Whatever it is, make sure that you are very clear to yourself what that primary call to action should be, what you need that reader to do, and then make that absolutely unavoidable. So no one reading your email is unsure of what the next step should be. And a great way to do that is to put a link to the details up top. Making the colors stand out is a great thing to do. And I do want to mention a stat that I've known for a long time. If you have a longer email, people only really engage with the first third. So you want to keep things what I call above the fold. I'm not the only one who calls it above the fold. What one might call above the fold. So keep things above the fold, which means they shouldn't need to scroll to see that call to action. Have that call to action be super obvious. And I can't say, I know I'm getting a little bit redundant here, but I can't stress that enough. I see so many people bury the call to action, bury the next step at the bottom of a page. Don't do that. Lead with it. Another neat thing is to link any images in your email to this call to action. Again, people expect images to be clickable, and they will likely click on it just to see, including your banner image up top. Have that link to your homepage, to your call to action, but make sure all your images are linked. And what you can do is take a page out of the BuzzFeed playbook and make sure that image is a little bit interesting, if you will, and attention-grabbing, and encourages that click.
I love that tip, especially nowadays with how like rich media is really taken over, not just social, but everywhere. Everybody's just intuitively clicking on things, and if it doesn't work in that experience, it's not going to be favorable.
For sure. And speaking of social, tweets with images have a significantly higher rate of engagement, responses, and clicks as well. So include images. First of all, including images actually improves your delivery and improves your click-through rate.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I knew that on social. I didn't realize it would actually improve it on the email marketing, so that's awesome.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Make sure you email, this is again Rylan. Rylan, by the way, I'll clarify, Rylan is one of our team designers. So he's a very visual-centric team member. Make sure your email has an easy way for your contacts to click through to your website. Or if you're advertising a physical location, make sure they know exactly where to find you. Again, it speaks to never leaving the next step in doubt. And finally, I talk about short emails, keeping things above the fold. This applies to the fact that a lot of people are engaging with your emails on their mobile devices. It's one of the reasons email marketing is so darn powerful, is because you're reaching people directly. It's not like a social stream where things are constantly moving. You're reaching them in their inbox where they are. Whether it's in bed, whether it's at the office, you're still going to get through to them, and you're going to have a lot of people reading your email on their mobile devices. And so what that means is keep your email short. Make sure again that it's very clear what you need to do, easy to grasp, and make sure it's readable on mobile devices. I recommend before hitting send on that newsletter, send a version to yourself first, and open it on your mobile device and make sure that it looks great. And one other trick, we'll discuss subject lines a little bit later, but another important trick to cater to mobile devices is keep your subject lines short, keep your sentences short. Basically, get to the point quickly.
Keep it above the fold. I like that, sending the preview to yourself on a mobile device. I would also just go a step further and say send it to a couple devices if you have like an iPad to test it out on and a cell phone, so you can really see what it looks like across different ones.
And actually, if you use GoDaddy email marketing, you're kind of in luck because they look great on mobile devices. We test obsessively to make sure that they're optimized for a huge range of mobile devices. So you're in good hands. And with that, let's hand it over to Becca for a live demo.
All right, guys. Awesome. Hello. I'm going to share my screen really quickly, and I will show you guys a bit of how to get started with your email marketing product. So when you first start out, this is the main page you'll see. This is your main dashboard. And this is where you're going to keep all of the newsletters that you create. We haven't created any yet, so let's click on Create a Campaign, and we'll get started. Now we have our Composer page here. The first thing to do is give your campaign a title. Now this title won't be the subject line that gets sent. We'll talk about making a subject line later. We can just call this something like Casey's Critters brand opening. Let's say that I'm promoting an opening of my shop. So now I have my title saved. And what I'm going to start doing now is dragging some images in that I can use in my campaign. We talked about this before, that a good balance of images and text is a really great way to make sure your mail lands where it's supposed to and doesn't get flagged by spam filters. So the first image I'm going to add is my banner image. To do that, I'm going to drag my banner image in from my desktop, or I can use the Browse button as well. Now, a banner image, I think, is a really important feature of an email campaign. This is a way you can identify yourself to your customers and subscribers. And it should carry the same branding, the same look and feel as your website, or as even the physical location that your store has. So I'm going to drag it from my gallery and into my banner image space here. And now we can see already I've got my branding set up at the top of that campaign. Now, as Dean mentioned, making images clickable is a super important feature, and it's really easy to do in the email marketing product. I'm just going to click on the pencil icon here, and the pop-up window will show me where I can add my link address. So I'll add caseyscuddlycritters.com and click Save. Now I'm going to save my changes as I go. Now let's try adding some content. As I scroll down the page, I can see I've got different buttons here that represent different module types. Now, what's great about the email marketing product is that it lets you sort of drag and drop different modules based on what you feel like you need to add. This way, there's not a pre-made template that you've got to force a lot of content into or tweak a bunch to make it fit. You can just build this as you go and as your content demands. So let's start off with a section title. A section title is a great way to really start off your email with a bang and make something, the point very clear. So I'm going to add holiday cuddles with my favorite critters. And now I'm going to add a little bit of extra text below that. I'm going to use this module on the left here, the text and image module. And then I'll have text on the left and an image on the right. So I can paste in my text. And again, I can drag some images in from my desktop or use the Browse button here to locate images on my computer. So once I drag my images in, they'll load in the sidebar. And then I can drag them in to the image module in my campaign. And when I click Preview, I can click on this inner corner to drag the image out and make it larger, or drag it back in and make it smaller. Now, we spoke briefly about making the call to action stand out. I think what the main point of this one is to get people to come to our grand opening on Friday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight that sentence and click on this large H button here to make it into a heading. Now, when I do that, some formatting is added here in edit mode, but once I click Preview, we can see how it's going to look to our subscribers. I'm going to also make Just in Time for the Holidays into a subheading using the smaller H button and click Preview one more time. So now our campaign is already taking shape with some standout text and some images. So I'm going to click the Save button up top to make sure we don't lose any of this content. Now, what we're looking at right now is the default theme for the email marketing. So that means that this is the first theme your campaign will have. And the theme governs the background color, the foreground color, as well as the colors and fonts of your text and the size of your text. Now, I want to make something that really carries the same branding as my banner image and my website. So I'm going to make my own theme. I've made one already over here in the Themes tab. I'm going to scroll down and choose it. It's called Casey's Cuddly Critters. And when I click on that, we can see it carries some of the same colors and fonts that we like with our campaign. Now, of course, you can edit any theme you like. We've got several preloaded themes over here on the right sidebar, and you can click through those and see how they would look applied to your content. Or if you like one but want to tweak it, you can just click the pencil icon over on the right. And let's say I want to make my background a lighter green so it doesn't bleed into the banner image so much. I'm going to make it into this light green that our heading has. So I'm going to grab the color from my heading, go to my Style and More tab, and in the background area, I'm going to paste in that color. And that was the wrong color. Whoops. So I'm just going to choose a lighter one from here and click OK Update. And now we have our campaign stands out a bit more strongly from that background. So that's something you want to keep in mind when designing. You want a theme and a design that really carries the same branding and the same feel as your website and any other branding you have online, like your social media pages, for example. This way, when customers receive mail from you, it instantly hits that part of their brain that recognizes you and remembers what you've done for them before. Now, we talked about a call to action. So let's say that we want people to visit our stores. We've already made that clear here. But what if they can't make it to your store and you want to encourage them to attend a web sale you're having? You can also do that. So let's add one more text module here with some of that text. And now I'm going to make this into a heading again. And I'm also going to make it into a clickable link. And again, I can add Casey'sCuddlyCritters.com as my link. And when I preview it now, we have a clickable link that really stands out and lets people visit the web store. Now again, our main call to action is the one to come to our grand opening on Friday. So that's the one we're keeping up towards the top above the fold, as we say. But of course, if we wanted to make the web sale our call to action, our main call to action, we can drag this module up using our drag and drop feature. So I'm just going to click on drag above this and drag my content right up to the top there. I can also change the module type if I want to make sure I add some more images. Let's say I want another module with text on the left and an image on the right. I can click the module type here and then click text and image. And when I edit my module, I'll have the space for an image now. So I'm going to drag my bear in from my images gallery, click preview, and drag it out to make it a bit larger again. So we've got some pretty great content already set up here. And we talked about previewing things before. Over on the right, we can click this preview button. And this will preview our web version of the campaign. This is the version we can share on social media, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And this is also where we can click the Send a Test button. And here we can deliver a test to ourselves at any email address we have and open that up wherever we receive it, either in our own inbox or on our phone or iPad, as we spoke about. So now that we've designed a bit, I think the next step would really be to send the email. And I'm going to bring it back to Dean so we can talk a bit about how to send with great subject lines. So Dean, take it away.
Great, cool. Actually, sorry about that. Come again there. Great. So, actually, Becca, can you mute your mic?
Yep.
Great, cool. So, sorry about that echo there. One thing before we go off Becca's beautiful promotion, I want to just show one really lovely design tip. You'll see the border around Becca's core content, the border around the promotion that separates the white inner background from the very light green in the outer background. So it's actually a nice trick to have a light outer background with a darker border. It really makes the actual content stand up from above the actual area. So you can see the dark green makes the content stand out from the background. It's a really neat trick. And with that, I'll dive back into subject lines. So thanks for my little detour there. Now, subject lines do indeed matter a lot, like a real lot. Subject lines probably go further than any other aspects of your email marketing to driving more opens, more views of your newsletter. And one of the best tricks that you can do with regards to subject lines, with regards to driving more opens, is to actually just tell people what they will find of value to them in their email, in that email. So mention the benefits your email will provide. Discounts, must-read holiday advice. Certainly avoid excessive punctuation. It's a big turnoff for the reader, and it's a turnoff for some more old-fashioned spam filters that watch for that. Mention the shopping holiday. So people leading into the holidays are very sensitive and attuned to, like we discussed earlier, they need to shop. For a lot of people, they need to figure this stuff out. It's a huge burden. So by stating the holiday, by stating the value and the concept in the subject line, you're going to drive significantly more views. And you'll see here in this third point where we say get some serious deals with business name. That's a trick. By including a name of a business in the subject line, you actually will see a higher open rate. It's mostly a connection, but it doesn't actually have to be your business name. If you're Casey's Cuddly Critters and you're selling a particular brand of stuffed toy, you can use that brand's name as well. Just by including that recognition in the subject line does drive more view rates. So it's also useful to create a sense of urgency, letting people know that there's a time limit on taking advantage of the content. Featuring a giveaway is great. Alliteration is a really compelling type of tool to use. And again, we go back to value. Tell people what the value is, and if you promise to help people with their holiday shopping, you're going to be taking a huge load off their shoulder. Now, I should mention, if you're sending an email next week, you don't have to hit all 7 of these points. But by hitting 1 or 2 of these points, you're going to really maximize the impact of your subject line. So here are some examples that we can see. All I Want for Christmas from Etsy is a really lovely subject line that really made an impact. Becca pointed out. One thing I want to point out regarding this, and all of them, is they're short. In fact, so that one's 5 words. Let's see, the next one's 8 words, and the last one is 3 words. I did a huge study of more than 60,000 subject lines, and subject lines less than 10 words significantly outperformed longer subject lines. So, snack in black with 50% off your order for food delivery from Seamless. It's a really cute and clever subject line that Susan found. Blacked Out Friday, it's one of the only, for Rylan, it's one of the only subject lines that stood out for him, and he found that one really compelling. Again, it's short, to the point, tells you what you're going to find in the subject line. And again, short is seriously the key. And over to you, Becca.
All right. So social media, I think, is one of the most important things you can do, especially as a small business, to really maintain that connection you have with your subscribers. So there's a few different ways you can do that through email marketing as well. Yeah, so you want to make sure that we're on social media and email, and that you're using both of them to make the same point or towards the same end. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. The first way, I think, which is almost the most important in my book, is to make sure you're sharing your newsletter on social media. In the email marketing product, once you preview your campaign, there's a little button that says share. You can click that share button and you'll get a web link for that campaign that you can send to anybody. And anybody who clicks on that link will be taken to your campaign online. You can also share your email marketing sign-up forms on social media. It's super easy to make a sign-up form in our product, and then again, you'll get a share link that you can share all over the internet, and people can click that link and sign up to be added to your list. It's a great idea we talked about segmenting a little bit before, so if you have a special offer going around and you want to gather subscribers for that special offer, you can also make sure that people who sign up on that web form are added to a very special list of those people who are interested in that particular offer. So it's great to share your sign-up form on Facebook, and you can also embed your sign-up form directly in your Facebook page. It's one of the great add-ons we have in the email marketing product. All you do is choose which form you want and choose which Facebook page to add it to. And then right away, you'll have an email sign-up tab on your Facebook fan page. So visitors on your Facebook page could click there, add their email address, and be added right to your subscriber list. So it makes it really seamless and easy to gather people who are interested and then send them mail based on what they're interested in. Additionally, you can also include your social icons at the footer of your email or at the top if you like. And we have icons for just about every social media page or service you can think of. And of course, if we're missing anything, you can always just email us and we'll be happy to add it for you.
I had a question for you on that.
Sure.
So if I share out my email campaign via like Twitter or something, so via the link, not making the Facebook tab,
Right.
is that going to increase my signups potentially? Like there's a option on the email campaign for people to subscribe? Okay.
Yeah, I think by default, every campaign's web version will have it has the view on web link and also has a subscribe link at the bottom. So it works if anybody forwards your mail from the inbox. It works if your newsletter is shared on social media, and you can also just include that subscribe link at the bottom of any personal email you send. So basically, wherever your campaign appears or wherever you share that link, someone can then subscribe and become part of your audience with
awesome.
One type and one click, and it's super easy.
Cool.
And again, we have the social sharing links as well on the emails. So during the sending process, you can choose to have a like this on Facebook button, tweet this, and a pin it to Pinterest button, which will show a great thumbnail version of your whole campaign on Pinterest. So it's a great way to share a newsletter all over to people who haven't signed up yet but should.
Awesome. Pinterest is also great for SEO too, so that's a double win. Cool. I think that brings us to the questions segment, right?
I think so. Looks like it, yeah.
Okay, cool. I think we actually have one. So it looks like we responded in the comments, but I think this would be good kind of for everybody to know. Nancy asked, do we offer autoresponders as part of the email marketing service?
We do indeed. And actually, I'm going to share my screen once more, Nancy, and I will show you exactly how to add that. So once I come up here, you can find your autoresponders in the add-ons area over on the top right here. So you can click on Add More, and then just use the search bar on the right to search for autoresponders. And here you can turn it on and click Go Set It Up. And now you can create an autoresponder that'll say, thanks for subscribing, for example. You can choose which audience list to send it to. And that way, as soon as somebody subscribes to your list, either via web form or if you add them to that list manually, they'll get an email you create right away. So it's super easy to create. And once you set up your settings, you can just then use a regular composer, like I showed before, to build the email that they'll receive as soon as they sign up. So it's right there in your email marketing product, just to that add-ons button.
Great. But just on autoresponders, what do you guys think is the best use for an autoresponder? Is it the thanks for subscribing, or do you guys have a cooler scenario that you can use those for?
I have a few scenarios that I strongly recommend people use autoresponders for. The thanks for subscribing is great. There's one of the most powerful uses of autoresponder is post-sales. So if you get a new customer, I think a follow-up a week after they make that purchase is a fantastic use of the autoresponder. Another fun idea, if you're an author, a writer, a speaker, is to serialize your content using autoresponders. So someone could subscribe to be your to join your list, and then you can send them a 4-week course, for example, based on your writing. You could serialize a novel, for example. So these are all great ideas, but my key element is the follow-up. Whatever it is, when someone achieves a goal that you would like them to, a business goal, follow up with them.
And I think that also goes back to when we're talking about value. That kind of follow-up, saying, how are you liking this product you got? Do you have any questions? Feel free to reach out. Lets people know that you care about them. You want to make sure you're doing right by them, and that you're opening yourself up for them to get in touch with you, I think, is a really important thing to do. And having an autoresponder do that is a great way to make sure you're maintaining that contact with people, especially at the beginning when it's really important to.
That's awesome. And then we talked about personalization. Is there a way to personalize autoresponders? So like you said, thank you for making your purchase. Is it possible to have it autofill a name in there or something like that?
Absolutely. That's also a feature in our add-ons area, and that's called the personalization feature. And that'll work for any information you've gathered with your audience. So if you have an audience list that includes first names, last names, favorite colors, or even the name of the last product they bought, you can have codes in the email that will say, dear first name, how are you enjoying product name? And that's a great way to make people feel like they're really being, spoken to directly. And using first names, I think, is one of the best things you can do.
Yeah, I think that's huge as well.
I actually have a specific example of that. A GoDaddy customer sat down with me at a coffee shop a while back, at least a year ago, and he asked that exact same question: how can I use autoresponders for my business? So his business was, it's not quite a garage, but for people who need help in getting the right parts for their car, whether it's tinted windows, whether it's a new carburetor. I actually know very little about cars, but things that go in cars. So we suggested the follow-up, and he did it using exactly the scenario that Becca described. Dear first name, I hope you're enjoying product name. May I recommend also this product or another product? And he actually managed to make a lot of really lovely follow-on sales using that technique by referencing, following up, and showing care about the existing product that that customer purchased, and using it also as a tool to recommend related products that could enhance that customer's enjoyment and experience of the product that they already bought.
That's fantastic. Everybody loves follow-up sales, right? Jim, it looks like you have a question. I just want to let you know it seems it's very account specific, so we'll have Dustin reach out to you and troubleshoot that with you offline. Another question is, do we offer Hangouts or webinars on GoDaddy email marketing? We're doing one right now, but do you guys offer other webinars and tools to help people with this product?
We do every weekday we host a live demo with a real person. Sometimes it's me. When you first go to your main dashboard page, if you haven't built a newsletter yet, there will be a button there that says schedule a live demo. And you click that button, and anytime during the week at 2 p.m. Eastern, I believe, every weekday, we'll do a walkthrough like the one they showed you in the Composer, as well as talking about building a web form, importing your audience, and using some of the other features as well. And of course, if anybody ever wants a personal walkthrough or phone call or anything about it, just email us at gem@godaddy.com, and we'll be happy to set one up for you.
That's awesome. I love how hands-on you guys are with all the customers. I think that's fantastic. So I think that's it for questions right now. If anybody else has any other questions, feel free to keep posting them. We'll monitor the page and get to you. Don't worry. If you're watching this post replay, thank you for watching. If you're watching live, thank you even more for watching. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Becca. This has been awesome. I think this is great for a lot of people. So
great. Thank you for hosting this, Colby, and thanks to everyone who's watching. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.